Okay. So, you know and love our website. I hope you're all registered and you're all participating in the event. So just as a friendly reminder, we have a lot of information that's available for you easily through the fineartsreview.risd.edu website, and that URL is in the bottom right there. So definitely a great place to go to that For Reviewers section in the center of the navigation to get more info after today. In terms of the agenda, we're going to be going through what the portfolios are, going through a pre-flight checklist of things that you'll need before the event, what to expect during a review, following up after the review event, and then we'll get to any of your questions. So statistically, we're talking about an event this year. We're very fortunate to have, once again, over 50 organizations represented. Thank you all for being a part of this. We're also anticipating having over 150 students participate in this event. And based on everyone's availability and the schedules that we have assembled, we're looking at in the neighborhood of about 700 reviews to take place during portfolio reviews. And so in terms of our hopes and expectations for your experience, number one, being part of the portfolio review is a chance for you to give your professional feedback to these hungry, impressionable students that are looking for your input. We're also hopeful that you'll consider any artist opportunities that are coming up for your organization, sharing insights about the professional world from your perspective. And a huge value is to network with RISD students. Hopefully, we all find this mutually beneficial. For students, it's fantastic to have connections to all of you in the professional world. And we also hope that this helps you with your future needs. So just to address some frequently asked questions that arise. So we hear from reviewers many times that they want to meet with certain types of students, maybe from a certain major, and they sometimes have students from a different major that end up on their schedule. So just to provide a brief explanation of this, if a student's work is outside of your area of expertise, please just use your general advice as a professional and as a fellow creative. Some students' career goals venture beyond their major's curriculum. So, you may have someone that's in painting that's actually coming to see you and they're interested in sculpture. So don't be too concerned if you're seeing a CV that lists students that are from outside of the major that you indicated, because that could explain why they're reaching out to you. Every student asks if I have a job or internship. Well, the students are advised by us to share their career goals, and internships and employment are a common objective of theirs. Of course, the majority of the review should focus on portfolio and demo reel development, but if you have something to offer, please do share information about any upcoming opportunities. And if you don't, it's perfectly acceptable for you to just admit that you don't have those opportunities. And it should get right into the real value of these meetings, which is like the portfolio reviews. Is there a way I can choose the students I meet with? So there is not a way to do that through the portfolio reviews. The students are the ones that are opting into meeting with you. However, we would love to have and host your opportunities that we could host in Artworks. If you'd like to participate in talks at RISD or network with students that reach out to you on LinkedIn or on Instagram after the portfolio review, those will be ample opportunities for you to be more selective about who you'd like to continue conversations with. So with that information covered about the nature of these portfolio reviews, let's just talk about some of these pre-flight checklist items that are going to help you on the technical side of things. So one great improvement that we've had this year is that rather than having to provide your own meeting solution, so bringing your own MS Teams or Zoom link, you will actually be provided a meeting link through our system, Artworks, or as it's sometimes called, and you'll notice in the URL for Artworks, does refer to this platform 1220. And all you need to know is that you will be receiving a unique link for each of you as a reviewer. So if you're one of those organizations that has multiple reviewers, each of you as a reviewer will have your own unique link. And this cannot be shared because it's actually the way that we identify you in the system. And just another technical note, this system is really optimized and works especially well when using Google Chrome. So if you haven't downloaded the Google Chrome browser, please do, even if you just use it for this event and then throw it away because you'd like to stick with your own preferred web browser, but it will help to optimize your experience. And just so you know what this is going to look like, you will receive an email, and I know it refers to design portfolio here, but of course it'll be the same exact form factor for fine art portfolio review. There will be a short message with a hyperlink, and this is the unique link that you will use to access your meeting. If you wanted to test out this link ahead of time, you certainly can. You'll be able to get into the environment and you'll see that the event hasn't quite started, but this will be the link that you will use for the event. And we also have a way to send this to you shortly before the event, just as a helpful reminder. So do rest assured that you'll be probably seeing this unique link come through more than once. Now, in addition, there is also an application packet, which is actually a schedule packet. And for any of you that have done this event before, it is the same PDF packet that you've seen in years past. And here's a preview of what this schedule packet looks like. So page 1 would be a cover page for your portfolio reviews. It would have the outline of the students that are represented with their times. And then one by one, each successive page would go through the CV for the first person on your schedule. And then if the student submitted a portfolio sample, it would also have the portfolio samples following after their CV. Now, here's what to expect when we arrive at Monday, April 29th. So for one thing, we offer a very brief welcome webinar. This is just a chance for the Career Center to welcome you, say hello, give you any last minute announcements, but we keep it very short. It should be under 10 minutes so that you'll be readily available when the schedules begin at 12 p.m. and that's Eastern time. And these, the schedule runs in 20-minute blocks, running back to back from 12 to 5 p.m. And we have 2 breaks scheduled, one at 1:40 and one at 3:20. Now, I do have these cyan asterisks, and there is a disclaimer at the bottom. Some of you have gotten in touch with us and customized your schedules. As a matter of fact, we've even had someone from a different time zone who's going to start before 12 p.m. So if that's the case, we've been sending you frequent email updates, and we always mention the time that you have in your schedule just to make sure that you know that we know. So if you have changes to your normal default schedule from 12 to 5, after this event, please get back to us and let us know. And during the event on April 29th, we will be available to support you should any issues arise. And to receive support, you'll simply email us at risdcareers@risd.edu. So this is what our new meeting platform actually looks like. We have on the left-hand side, we have the students that are lined up that you'll be meeting with according to your schedule. And then here we're seeing an active meeting where one of our work study students, Sahil, is sharing his screen. And we can see that Susan and I are in the room meeting with Sahil as if we were reviewers. And we're able to discuss, just as you would with any, any common video conferencing platform, sharing the screen, sharing feedback, reviewing the portfolio work. We're really happy with the system. We're also really happy that it's able to track the students that you have coming up on your schedule. And that view application button enables you to pull up their material that they submitted, which would include their CV and an optional portfolio sample if they chose to include one. So that's what that's going to look like. So it's all about the students, the portfolios, or demo reels that they have to share. So in terms of what to expect, the students will be prepared to share their screen and walk through their work. The students are advised to explain how their work aligns with your organization. So hopefully they've looked at your website and anything that they could learn about you in advance. And the students are eager for your feedback, including their skill development, the quality of their work, presentation skills. So hopefully they'll leave time to hear your comments. And so we also ask that you help them manage this time and letting them present their work and also leaving time for you to share your feedback. Some of the questions that you're likely to hear from our students. What are you looking for in applicants if they're going to apply to be shown in your gallery, or if they want to work for your organization? What makes an applicant stand out? Is there anything you would recommend I add to my portfolio? Any upcoming opportunities for internships or graduates for the summer? And I'd like to send you follow-up correspondence. What email address may I use to reach you? And speaking of following up, we hope that you'll get the most that you can out of Fine Arts Portfolio Review. And that would include connecting with students on LinkedIn if they invite you to connect, or perhaps they're reaching out to you through other social media platforms. These students want to meet and they want to thank you, and the students that you didn't get to meet with. So, there will be some demand for the schedules that you have available. Not all students will have the time available to meet with you, and we will be actively encouraging them to reach out to you after the event. And so would be thrilled if you could welcome their outreach. Additionally, the Career Center would be eager to promote any opportunities that you have to post in Artworks. Artworks can accept applications, or it can direct them to your online portal or an email address, whatever you specify. And please engage with us through Instagram, and our handle is @RISD-Careers. So at this time, Susan and I would like to open it up to questions. And Susan, I don't know if you have anything that you'd like to add, but we've reached the end of the presentation.
Thanks, Jason. It was terrific. And thank you, everybody, for being here and taking some time out of your day in preparation for next week. And just to echo Jason's earlier comments, we are very, very grateful for your involvement, and our students are excited to have the chance to meet and chat with you next week. And I think the only couple of points, Jason, that I want to reiterate are with regard to a couple of things that you mentioned. So just for everybody's awareness, I wanted to remind that the link that Jason mentioned that you'll need next week to join your video conferencing meeting will be sent to you the day of. You'll see it beforehand, but we will definitely be sending that to you on the 29th, a week from today. So you have it handy if you somehow, misplaced it, or it's not somewhere that's easy for you to access. You'll be hearing from us early on the morning of the 29th with that info. I'm glancing at my notes. Yes, so the support link that you'll need to during the event, should you need to reach out to us, our email contact will also be sent to you. So you'll have like those most critical pieces of information right before the event begins. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention too is that Jason and I did a prep program for students. So last week, on Thursday evening, we did a whole presentation about the Fine Art Review and what students can expect from it. And I wanted to just reframe a little bit of the comment Jason made about what students' expectations are, to say that we've been also meeting with students individually in addition to our prep program, and chatting with them about getting ready for conversations they may have with you next week. And we really drive home the message to them that they should understand who you are, what organization you are part of, if you are part of an organization, if you're an independent artist, the type of work that you've been making, so that they can logically choose to meet with folks that are compatible in some way with the student's interest in terms of the type of work that they're making or their aspirational goals for the kinds of things they'd like to be doing. So that said, we know that a number of you are also representing programs that offer residencies. So in that case, we've been encouraging students to think about what would a residency application look like? What are some of the questions you have about that? And if you're meeting with somebody who also is part of a residency program, these are wonderful moments to ask questions about how do you make a strong application for that kind of situation. So I just wanted to be sure that you had this little bit of other background awareness of what's going on our side as we're preparing students. And I'm noticing questions that are coming through. So I will stop with my comments and we'll take your questions. So thanks, Jason.
Yeah, thank you. So we received an excellent question, and I'll just read it for the benefit of the group. Just to be clear, we will receive one link for all our meetings. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. There will be one meeting per reviewer for all meetings. So you click that one link and you stay put as these different meetings happen. Can you speak to the way we'll transition from one meeting to another? In other words, are the meetings timed, or does the presenter actively close one meeting and open another? Excellent question. So the meeting behavior is a lot like Zoom waiting rooms. You have a meeting where you're meeting with a student, and when the next student is ready for their portfolio review, which would be 20 minutes after the first one came in, then you will receive a notification that the student is present and ready to join you. So you have control over when that next student comes in, and you can just verbally, wrap things up with the student that you're meeting with and send them on their way. The student number one would then leave your meeting, and you could admit the second student in. There is a nice feature in this new platform where it does actually show a timer and how much time is left in each portfolio review meeting. So you will receive a little prompt, as does the student, to let you know that like, oh, this meeting's almost done. And that will help you to stay on time. But as I mentioned at the beginning, the meetings do run back to back. So that is something that you will need to be mindful of in terms of like watching how the time is progressing, keeping an eye on the clock, and hopefully this new system will make that easier. Thanks for that question. And for what it's worth, we did use this system for a design portfolio review, which happened last month in March, mid-March. And it was a great opportunity for us to really get the hang of how it works, to inform students as users about it. And the provider has since made some improvements based on that experience. So we're really glad to be having this new system in place and well considered before rolling it out for fine art portfolio review. So the question from Peter, excellent question. When do you receive your schedule? So we'll be getting your schedule to you this Friday, the 26th. And thank you for asking. I had meant to mention that. So students will be signing up or, getting onto schedules over the next couple of days. And then we get all of those materials together and we send them off by the end of the week. Thanks for the question, Peter.
So just in the absence of no more questions at the moment, I wanted to circle back on Jason's point about the time between appointments that you'll be having. And again, just for your awareness, we've really primed students with this really same messaging about you could have back-to-back appointments and to just be mindful of your time. The reviewers will be aware of this too. So hopefully between your own preparation and knowledge of expectation around a 20-minute review time slot and the students' knowledge and expectation of that too, there won't be really any confusion at all about needing to wrap up or end. So just to say, I think if there are any issues or concerns that you have with that and you're encountering it during the event, as Jason mentioned, and I did too, we're available. You can reach out to us and chat through whatever the question or concern is, but hopefully it'll be pretty seamless.
All right. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in. So I think it's safe to wrap up, but thank you all for joining us, and we'll continue to send you updates this week as information becomes available, and watch for those schedule packets to come through Friday morning. That's my plan, is to have them out Friday morning, but definitely Friday. And you can always reach out to us through RISD Careers at risd.edu. You also see Susan and I, we have our emails available on screen, and we'd love to hear from you directly if that's what you choose. So have a great day, and thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks, Jason.
Yep.